Oh, great, a coconut. Thanks.
Avocado. Thanks.
Hello, friends, and welcome back to ReddX, your source for the freshest daily cringe content anywhere on the internet. Promise, swearsies, it's just a fact, and it's totally science. Go ahead and look it up, please. Today we're jumping back into r/LegbeardStories, one of the only series left unwrapped. I guess that would be Unfortunate. Ew, Unfortunate unwrapped? Nobody wants to imagine that. If you're gonna go in there, ladies or gentlemen, please be sure to wrap it and wrap it tight. Double bag it if you have to. This is just bad news bears. It seems like every Unfortunate story that we get into, things just get a little bit worse. And I often have to steel myself to get through these things because the events are just really horrible to stand by and witness, and I often feel bad for OP, but I mean, she was brave enough to write it, so I'm brave enough to read it. She also ended up dumping all 33 parts into my personal subreddit, r/ReddX Reads today, so that kind of gave me a little boot up the ass. I'm like, oh my god, I got 21 more parts of this to go. Okay then, I guess we better put the pedal to the metal. Holy heckers, this is going to be going probably into next year for some time. And once it's all wrapped, I guarantee that it is going to be the biggest saga on the channel, even bigger than the 7-hour amusement park creepypasta. How big? Only time can tell. But anyways, let's get some plugs and disclaimers out of the way, and then we will dive right into some of this LegbeardStories cringe. Unfortunate Part 12. It's always OP's fault. And the coconut. The coconut? What? I guess we'll find out. Hey y'all, let's dump some more cringe. Yay! Thanks to ReddX for being on the ride. It's nice to finally shed some light on these morbidly hilarious monsters who attempted to silence me. I'm happy to give you a voice. I'm so happy that you've written so very much and that we can commiserate with you in some form or fashion. If you've missed the previous parts, the links as usual are in the description. Don't know if I mentioned that. There was also a card at the beginning of the video while I was doing the intro. But anywho, not safe for work warnings again. Leg/neckbeards are gross, and this story is no exception. You have been warned. Shit gets ridiculous and heavy in this saga, and ridiculously heavy, even. Oh my god, both at the same time? You can nope out whenever you need to, but I hope that you won't. But honestly, if it's for your mental health, then yeah, please don't hesitate to do so. Are you new to this saga? Oh, I plugged this already. I recommend you starting with ReddX reading the prologue here. The last part before this one was here, and the next one is over here. For all things in between, either check up how far along ReddX is, or check my post history at reddit.com/user/thegreenbear. Also, my buddy Brute has been giving her side of Unfortunate in her own recollections. And yes, we will compile that into this massive file that we have on this beard. This absolute specimen. My goodness. It's so rare to find this much information on a legbeard. And now I'm kind of wishing that we hadn't. And then we also get a horrible neckbeard thrown in to boot. Oh my god. It's just a treasure. So let's get into the cast. Unfortunate, the legbeard. Victim of everything. Oh, woe is her. Why do these things always happen to her? The epitome of nice girls always finish last. Especially when your kicked puppy facade falls and your succubus horns start showing. Oh yeah, we've seen them a few times, for sure. NARUTO headband is the neckbeard that is dating ROP. Seemed nice in public. It was a carefully crafted ruse. He was a monster in private. If he didn't see you do it, then it didn't happen. Were that working or training or making food, etc. What? The food is there. Of course I made it. You think there's like little elves in the walls that come out when you're not looking? What the fuck is that? I have to see you do it. See these nuts, son.
These nuts? Ha! Got him!
Greenie is ROP, losing her mind. That good old, everyone's nice if you just love them enough, is starting to fucking shatter. And I just want these dysfunctional fucktards to be normal. Never gonna happen. Froggy is one of my dearest friends that I met through Turtle, who was mentioned in the prologue and part 1 as my friend. Like a sister to me, lived very far away, very much a self-aware bachelorette frog IRL. Yeah, frogs is cool.
Hi, I'm Kermit. I'm a frog.
Brute is one of Unfortunate Nookie's friends, though she was tired with her shenanigans already, and a would-be friend to OP. Pilot and Pez are Naruto Headband's only friends. So far, the list of Unfortunate Nookie survivors within the span of like 4 years, oh boy, it's a lot. We got First Love, Baldy, Vegan, Naruto Headband, Vamp, Bear, Brit, Emo, Fabulous Peacock, Security Guard, Kendo, Belgian, Curly, and for those bad and mad, that's 13 victims so far. Hey, didn't we mention a 14th in the last story? I think that was Brit. Is that still 13? Whatever, I can't remember. That was a week ago. This is why I had to give up the dope smoking. My memory is shot. Anyways, let's hop on into this story. Where last we left off, Unfortunate Nookie had Vegan for a roomie and dated Curly. She even managed to scrounge up some money to fly to the States to bang the virginity out of Curly. And get engaged, kinda. And name their future 5 children. And she got suicidal when Curly left her. OP went to soothe her, only to be greeted by a used dildo. It was green, I remember that much. And to be completely ignored in favor of World of Warcraft, so OP left, virtually invisible to Unfortunate Nookie, only to be messaged by Vegan the next day that Unfortunate Nookie was in the ER after an overdose and that she was done. Vegan, I've had it with her. I can't take this. I can barely take care of myself. If you can, please look after her because I am leaving. I told her to stop this, but she's just getting worse. I'm sorry, but I'm out. Oh, come on, Vegan. Don't leave OP all alone in the trenches. You're supposed to say, I'm leaving. Please come with me. Unfortunate Nookie had an argument with Vegan about their apartment, and according to Vegan, it was like talking to a brick wall, as it usually is with Unfortunate Nookie. Vegan was upset and let Unfortunate Nookie know. Unfortunate Nookie also was trying to get Curly to come back to her, and he blocked her. With people starting to see her devil horns peaking, she had reached her limit. Quick, she must do something, anything to become the victim again. She took all of her psych meds in one go. That entire jar that she never used, yeah, she ate all of them. Vegan had stepped out to go grocery shopping and calm down after their argument, and came back to see Nookie on the floor, unconscious, and foam coming out of her mouth. Jesus Christ. It's interesting that she didn't take them, but kept them around to use them, probably in a situation just like this. Ugh. The saddest part is those meds probably could help her out in some way. Ah, man. It's so difficult. I hate it already. I knew it was gonna happen. Vegan called an ambulance, and then called me because she couldn't reach anyone else close to Unfortunate Nookie, like, say, her family, and then she just left. To Vegan's defense, she had a lot of her own issues, but unlike me, she put herself first. And that's not a bad thing, let me be clear on that. Always look out for number one, always. She was deeply depressed, clinically diagnosed as such, and declared retired before 30 due to being unable to work for the rest of her life by the state. So when Unfortunate Nookie did shit like this, she protected herself and left. It's not because she didn't care, it was because she knew she'd break if she put herself deeper into this. So she made sure Unfortunate Nookie had someone, and then tended to herself. She was older and wiser than me. Oh, well, you're gonna learn some lessons, don't worry about that. I mean, I'm kind of upset that she said, okay, OP, you're responsible for her now, instead of, going and getting basically anybody else, like her parents, or just alternatively leaving her there to self-destruct. Although that does seem pretty heartless. I don't even know if I'm capable of just walking away knowing that somebody very likely is going to kill themselves. And of course, neckbeards and legbeards just love to use that fact to their advantage. I was the only person to visit Unfortunate Nookie in the hospital. Not Vegan, not her mother or father or her brother. No one went to see her but me. Yeah, everybody's done with her shit but you. Or that's what she told me afterwards when I asked who else had came by. Oh yeah, that's not reliable. She said, no one, no. With Unfortunate Nookie's permission, the nurse let me know that she was all right. They pumped her stomach clean, and after a day's recovery, she was cleared to go home. Yeah, maybe physically, definitely not mentally. She scared the bejesus out of everyone. But overall, it turned out to not be much of anything at all, thanks to Vegan's quick thinking. I left her some gift art, and despite feeling a lot of despair and frustration over her actions, all I said to her with tears in my eyes was, I'm glad you're still here. I kept the rage inside, but I couldn't help but be just a wee bit bitter that I had just been there for her, and then she turned around and did this. It's all just one giant ego trip. She wants people to care for her, but then she pushes them away to see how much they care or something like that. And then when people actually walk away after being pushed away, she freaks out. I really don't get it. As a comparative note, I had a friend, Froggy. Froggy was also a severely mentally ill girl due to being molested and bullied as a child. Oh, God. The heaviness never stops with this saga, man. Boy. It was also unclear if she was somehow born handicapped or with brain damage, or if it was possibly due to a bad mold infestation in her childhood house. In either case, Froggy had many severe mental issues that the doctors couldn't quite agree on what was her diagnosis. Epilepsy, psychosis, dissociative personality disorder. She was severely paranoid, had difficulty feeling and recognizing emotions, differentiating if something was her genuine opinion or something that someone else was trying to influence her with. She saw things that weren't there, etc. She was institutionalized for some years due to this and more. Maybe that's what Unfortunate Nookie needs. Just a nice, gentle sectioning a few weeks away to reflect on herself. Now, when Froggy called me saying that she can't take it anymore, she's done with life, I told her the same thing that I told Unfortunate Nookie. Don't worry, it's gonna be okay. Can you hold on until tomorrow? Froggy.
What's waiting for me tomorrow?
OP. I'll be there with you. First train out. I'd come right now, but the last train left 2 hours ago. You think you can hold on just a little longer? I promise I'll ride it out with you, as long as it takes. We can stay up all night until then if you want to. You're not alone in this, Froggy. I got you. OP, again, too good for this world. Froggy broke down and cried in gratitude. I helped her find her heart, at least for a while, and she thanked me for saying all this. Thanked me for appearing the next day. Thanked me for as long as I stayed, in disbelief that she had a friend who was actually there. Thanked me for years after, as a matter of fact. Bought me a Nintendo DS with one of my favorite games, Rayman, as a thank you. God damn, Rayman Legends. That stuff is so good. I played through it recently. I guess not that recent, the beginning of this year, but that is so good. Don't sleep on Rayman, that's all I'm saying. And with one mention of a video game, ReddX has completely missed the point. No, I promise I didn't. Froggy also drew me a bunch of gift art as a thanks. Not to mention that her parents were also eternally grateful. Neither of us ever forgot. And yet, Froggy knows how to say thank you, which is seemingly not in Unfortunate Nookie's vocabulary. I'm pretty sure she just thinks that she's entitled to all of this help. It's so frustrating. I'm just putting this here to point out how much of a black hole Unfortunate Nookie was, and how ungrateful she seemed for anything and everything. I don't think it's how ungrateful she seemed, it's how ungrateful she was. Literally. And while I too for years excused it because she had damage, so did Froggy. I believe to this day that Froggy was grateful for me being there for her, but I still don't know if Unfortunate Nookie even remembers that I was there. I gave the same to both, with wildly different results. And so you must treat the two of them separately, correct? You're giving love and attention to two trees, and one is bearing fruit, and the other one is just, doing nothing, essentially. Chop that fucking second tree down. Make it into a table or something that could be, actually useful. Which is all that Unfortunate Nookie can really hope for, I suppose. But okay, yeah, back to Unfortunate Nookie. She got back together with Curly. A stunt to get her man back actually worked for once. And I was obviously worried for her. In all honesty, all of her other self-destructiveness, with the banging her head or choking herself with silk lace, I felt was attention-seeking. It did so little damage that it was more annoying than worrying. ODing, though. She had threatened this and 100 other things. But before this point, it was never real or serious. Something about this really shook me. I was desperate to save her. I still felt like this little beardo was my responsibility. Like a dog that I still hadn't managed to house train. Bad Nookie, no! You stop pissing on everyone!
Oh no.
But she never stopped pissing, did she? Sometimes dogs learn a lot better and quicker than humans. Maybe even more than sometimes. So I kept her company as often as I could. More, even. One time after she OD'd, she went into the bathroom, maybe for one of those rare showers that she occasionally took. It was something that I knew would take a long time. She left her chats open on her computer. I wanted to know what she was thinking. Oh, no, don't do it, OP. That's crossing the line. I needed to know if she was planning her next suicide attempt. Well, God, I'm so conflicted. I guess it's okay to prevent a suicide attempt. There are no black and white answers in this world, okay? I don't like that action from OP, but I like the whole attempting suicide thing a lot less. So, okay, we're gonna let it slide. I touched her oddly greasy and sticky laptop and looked at her chats. Greasy and sticky at the same time. Those are opposites. That is disgusting. She was talking to the Belgian. I can't recall exactly what she said in the chat with him, but despite her arguing with Vegan, despite her being upset that Curly had dumped her, she blamed me for ODing. I knew it! I knew it! I called it in the last episode. Doesn't make her any less of a piece of shit, but at least I feel kind of justified. She said,
Opie abandoned me when I needed her the most. She didn't care how I was suffering. She just left me. Oh, I don't know what I've done to deserve this.
What, you just want me to sit here and watch you play World of Warcraft for 8 hours? Get on Twitch or something. YouTube live stream. Stop sucking away my life when I didn't volunteer for this. And I believed it. Oh no, OP. I took it to heart. Fuck me, right? It made me feel like I was the piece of shit. Worse. The worst. I was spiraling. Had I really almost ended a life? Again? I still felt responsible at this point for my mother dying. This hit way harder than it should, when it should have not hit at all. I shut down the chat window like I hadn't looked, hyperventilated and fought back tears, and gave Unfortunately some excuse as to why I had to go home, all the while saying, "I'm so sorry," and wishing her the best. Don't apologize to her. Ugh. Just an absolute scumbag of a human being. Unfortunately, he has like the most main character syndrome that I've ever seen. Jesus Christ. At this point, I went home and cut myself for the second time. Oh no, OP. The first time I'd tried right after my mother died. I didn't manage to draw blood back then, and I had made a pact with an online friend to never do it again. 4 years later, after what Nookie had said that I pushed her into, it just kind of drove me over the edge, and I punished myself. If she was mine to take responsibility over, if she tried to die on my watch, I failed, and that's on me. At least that's the twisted logic that I was operating under. At least you realize now that it's twisted. In the moment, I could see how it might be difficult to sort out fact from fiction, but Unfortunately is definitely a monster, bar none. I freaked out that I managed to really hurt myself this time. I freaked out about what would people say? What would people do if they found out? I felt extremely ashamed and scared. Can I hide this? I hated the idea of pandering for attention for what I did to myself, like Unfortunately did. The walls were closing in on me, and I had no way out. I was losing it, and I was too strong and dependable to let anyone ever see me crumble. Naruto Headband definitely didn't care about my shit, remember? Why was my life full of these impossible to solve equations? Because you haven't yet learned that not all equations need to be solved. Sometimes the best thing to do is walk away from the blackboard. You're like, all right, do I really even give a shit about that? I guess I don't. I took my dogs and I ran away. Time to reboot, I suppose. I went into a hostel in the woods and just walked and cried for an entire weekend. Tried to rearrange my thoughts, calm my mind. My dogs, of course, had the time of their lives. Dogs ain't got no problems. Look at them. Running free in the woods, rolling in mud and chasing squirrels, and of course licking an unhealthy amount of tears. I'd send Naruto Headband messages about me being okay because, again, I was really allergic to being dramatic and getting attention like Unfortunately would definitely try and do in such a situation. But what was done, and I was aware that it was bad and dramatic, no matter how I spun this. I just didn't know what to do anymore. I mean, if you're standing right there in the middle of it, so abused that you don't see any escape, I honestly couldn't come up with a good solution either. And I think this happens a lot in NeckbeardStories. It's the kind of thing that beards prey on 100%. Unfortunately, spoke to me as normal and barely noticed that anything was wrong at all, and I didn't tell her. I didn't want to guilt her. I wanted to suffer because I genuinely felt that I had hurt her, and that was my mistake. I believed a beardo. Never believe a beardo! The weekend ended, and I came home to Naruto Headband. I explained to him an acceptable version in his worldview. I had felt really bad and cut myself, and I was so sorry. And then I cried. I was shaking. Some twisted part of my mind was sure that he would kill me for doing something so dumb and running away from him again. And the same part was almost relieved that it would just be all over now. He kissed my scars and said, "It's okay." And I fell for it. Despite him laughing at me and joking that, "You look stupid though. Why would you cut yourself up like a Christmas ham?" I still thought that he genuinely cared for me and was going to look after me despite me hurting myself after that gesture. I guess I was just that starved for kindness. Another phrase that I say very often, when people tell you who they are, listen. Okay, he kissed your scars or whatever, but he's like laughing and making funny over it and shit. Nah, dude, call him out. This is worth a fight. What's the worst that happens? You break up? Doesn't seem like the worst fate. Side note, Naruto Headband hated cuddling or holding hands. He only ever wanted to have sex. If we ever did just try to cuddle, he'd always try to escalate it into sex because otherwise, it was a missed opportunity. God. So yeah, I was really lonely and starved for affection at this point. God damn, is his masculinity really that fragile? He was having a breakdown a couple episodes ago about having hair that was too long and people thought he was a girl. Now he's like, I can't cuddle. We just bang. Don't cuddle me. I'm a man. I love to cuddle. It's my wife that tries to escalate it. She's like, ooh. And god damn do I love her for it. In any case, it was after this that me and Naruto Headband got engaged. Oh god! He proposed to me on a Ferris wheel at the local amusement park. When Unfortunate found out, she made noises like she was disgusted.
Ugh! Ew, that's so lame and tacky! God, how unimaginative you guys are!
Yeah, Miss got engaged on a fucking mall bench. I suppose that we were. I proposed to my wife at an arcade. I pretended I won something from the claw machine and got down on one knee to get it, and then I just turned and I'm like, pop the question. She didn't seem that amused. So the second time that I asked her was at her birthday in front of all the family and stuff like that, which could have turned horrible for me if she said no, but luckily peer pressure helped me out a little bit. Honestly, it's kind of a miracle that my wife married me at all, but I am so glad that she did, and she says that she's glad too. Oh, anyways, I wasn't the only one getting the shit end of the stick with Unfortunate when it came to relationships. Oh no! Brute had also gotten engaged with her future husband. Unfortunate had opinions about that as well. She got opinions about everything. She said,
They won't last! It's not real love! Brute only got engaged to him as a joke! It'll be over in a week when it stops being funny to them, idiots!
I suppose the joke is on Unfortunate after all. Brute has been married to the same guy for a decade now. Whatever you need to tell yourself, Nookie, alright? She's probably sitting there like, I can't believe the joke's been funny for 10 years. It wasn't a joke, idiot. Anyways, let's swing into the coconut. Georgia of the jungle. Watch out for that tree. Watch out for that tree. Naruto Headband was bad at giving gifts. I mean, I'm sorry. What I mean is,
OP is impossible to please, and it was impossible to get you a gift that you would enjoy, and I would never even know what you like.
'Cause you don't listen. So I took on a habit of pointing out, literally, things that I liked when we were out and about. I like this series and these characters. I love elephants and frogs and owls. Green is my favorite color. I love sparkles on everything but my clothes. This game looks exciting. I could always use more Copic markers. Drawing tools always make me happy. The most obvious hints in the world. Just write one of them down. Hey, Christmas is coming up. Maybe I should just catch one of these fucking hints that are being flung directly at my head. It definitely wasn't Naruto Headband's fault when he bought me a Bahamut from Final Fantasy VIII for my birthday. The Bahamut that I wasn't allowed to touch, lest I break it. Even though I hated Final Fantasy VIII and played it for only like a half an hour in front of him because he pressured me into it. And I quit because I didn't like the leveling system at all. God damn, dude. The gift is like so blatantly for him instead of her. I think I've pulled this once with my wife. It was her birthday this year. I bought a full-size fridge which is kind of like a gift for the whole family. But it wasn't the only thing that she got. A figurine from a game that she hates. He's so clueless. But of course, OP doesn't get mad. He just knows that he can get away with it. So whatever, I guess. But yeah, of course, it wasn't Naruto Headband's fault at all.
And then I didn't like a present that I wasn't even allowed to touch.
That he also, by the way, broke, and he blamed me for that too. Fucking shitbag. Nor were all the birthdays, or Christmases, anniversaries, or Valentines, etc. where
he simply forgot. Only a truly petty woman would be mad about any of that, obviously.
The only way you can skip out on all of that and get away with it is if you make every day special, which I know for a fact he doesn't do. The only holiday that my wife really and truly cares about is Mother's Day. If I forget Mother's Day, God have mercy on my soul. But everything else, it's like, yeah, pretty laid back. We make each other a card. That's it. Or buy a fridge. Whatever you can do. Just see how the money situation is. Anyway, meanwhile, I got him a PS3. Okami, that he had been foaming at the mouth about for months before it came out. Okami pretty good though. Same with Skyrim, a new laptop, paid for a cruise, a trip to Japan, fucking kept him fed in China, paid rent all by myself for the both of us, to name just a few things. But the most outrageous of them all,
the coconut.
Now, pray tell, how can one coconut top the outrageousness of the inequity between these two people, these two, I guess fiancés at this point? She's sending him to Japan and stuff, and he's like, I don't know, I forgot. What a douche, dude. Oh my god. I've always hated him, but it only grows. Anyways, 1 year after Naruto Headband had forgotten both Christmas and my birthday, I had taken to poke and prod him often that he sucks. And I also let him know that I expect nothing of him anymore in the gift department, because as past events have proved time and time again, he did in fact suck. Next October, he got cocky. He got smug. He kept telling me this year he was gonna give me the best present that anyone has ever given anybody. I know he talks big, but I still want you to keep those expectations low.
You wait and see. This'll be the greatest gift ever.
No.
You're gonna have to take back all the things you said about me being trash with presents. This'll blow your mind.
Yeah, we'll see who ends up with their foot in their mouth. I'm pretty sure I know. On and on he went for 2 months. I'll admit, I started getting excited. Don't do that. This was the first time that he had even cared about getting me a present, and he was so excited about it. What could it be? What am I getting? Oh God, poor OP. Holy shit. Gosh, I was getting giddy. I wonder what of all the things I had pointed out to him that he decided would be the greatest gift of all time. We spent Christmas with Pilot and Pez at Pilot's house. Everyone had gotten each other pretty normal gifts. And then, finally, the moment came. I looked at Naruto Headband expectantly. He, with glee in his eyes, gave me, and I unwrapped, a coconut. The amounts of surprise, disappointment, confusion, and rage were just indescribable. Why a coconut? I don't even like coconuts. Oh great, a coconut. Thanks.
Avocado. Thanks.
Why the hype? What the fuck? The boys were all laughing, of course. Oh, God, don't let him get away with it. Quit being the butt of the joke. Ah! Impotent rage is rising. I didn't want to make a scene, so I tried to laugh too. You can make a scene at this point. He gave you a fucking coconut for Christmas. Who are you? I would have rather gotten nothing. Yeah, so I laughed too while crying. But I also said I hate it. And I hate him for it. And that this is by far the worst thing that he ever gave me. Why? I spent Christmas throwing the coconut at Naruto Headband, which Pez felt was the least that he should suffer for this. Pez, he's not good, but at least he's entertaining. We then ate it, and I glued the shell back together and kept it as a reminder for Naruto Headband that he fucking sucks. Like the whiny little bitch boy that he was, he hated me for keeping the shell and for not letting him forget that he had royally screwed up. And when, after like 3 years, I was finally willing to throw it away, he got sad and said that I shouldn't because I don't know why. Who cares? The incident caused Pilot's girlfriend to remember us as Coconut Boy and Coconut Girl until she learned our names. Well, that seems pretty rude and disrespectful, too. My name is like 2 or 3 syllables. Are you too stupid to get that into your head within the 2 seconds that I introduce myself? See, this is why I can't go out in public. I will say some shit like that. Oh, of course, it gets better. See, what had happened was Naruto Headband had a great idea. His plan had been to make me a custom cloak, a replica of the ones that Lady Galadriel gives the Fellowship in The Lord of the Rings. He was right. That was indeed something that I would have loved. So why didn't he do that? Why the coconut? Well, he didn't know how to sew. So guess who he employed to sew the cloak? Oh no, you betcha. Unfortunately. The failed seamstress herself. He paid Unfortunate, and of course she never did anything with the cloak and just gave Naruto Headband excuses as to why she didn't. Do we know that this is a fact? Because both of them are really unreliable. I would buy this story either way. So the cloak didn't get done in time for Christmas, obviously. It was Christmas Eve, and Naruto Headband suddenly realized that he had nothing for me. So he panic bought a coconut from the supermarket. Possibly the worst gift ever. The cloak was also not done by my birthday, and that was on New Year's Eve. Eventually, Naruto Headband's mother finished the freaking cloak for him. It was handmade, crappy, and sloppy. And when we broke up, it was one of the many cursed items that I burned to cleanse myself. Fire good. Nice cleansing fire. You know, Unfortunately, felt confident in her sewing skills despite failing school. In fact, at one point, Unfortunate went back to seamstress school to pick up where she had left off, where she spent 3 years in school and managed only 6 months worth of courses. She a little slow. At least she's trying to get it in. She made this frilly shirt that I said looks really pretty, so she promised to make me one too. Yeah, never saw that shirt. Well, at least I didn't have to pay for it. She also made this fox quilt thing that she managed to auction off for like 100 euros out of pity to someone who wanted her poon. That was Bear's roommate. Bear's roommate? What are you doing out here? Don't encourage her. At least not like that, for that reason. She was very smug about that, despite quitting school again in under a month. She was
too intelligent in a non-conventional way for institutions,
if you asked her, which is probably why she felt the need to constantly one-up you with her
actually
fact checks about pointless garbage, and belittle people like her cousin or me who actually passed high school as dumb when she couldn't even make it into high school. But I digress. So, y'all want a coconut for Christmas? I hear it's the best thing ever. Holy hell, dude. That is a ride. It started out sad and then it got funny. I kind of enjoy that more than starting out funny and getting sad. If I could have a preference. Anyways, remember, laughter is the music of the soul. If you can laugh at it, you can get over it. Also, aim to shower daily, 'cause it's good for you. Greenie, out. Christmas coconut. It almost would have made sense if you had gone to, like, you know, Hawaii, somewhere tropical, and he could be like, oh, I'm trying to recapture those memories. But no. OP paid for a trip to Japan and China. Okay. Even if you had made just a little stop through the Philippines, you could have been like, that's where I got the idea for the coconut. I mean, he did pay Unfortunate, you know, try and build this bridge again with this woman that he supposedly hates. It almost seems like he was trying to do a good thing, but he just couldn't be asked to put in the effort, you know? He doesn't know how to sew. Why not pick something that you know how to do? You pay somebody else to do it. Like, even if you sucked at making that cloak, you could be like, this is the first cloak that I ever made, and I want you to have it. And it would probably mean a lot more than a coconut or a shitty cloak that was made by Naruto Headband's drunken mother or freaking Unfortunate. Good God, dude. Just a failure on so many levels. Both of them are. I do like to laugh at it, you know, but the fact that they're putting OP through just so much trash, it really hurts my soul because OP is a good person. She deserves better, and I hope that she is finding better currently. I do hope that you guys enjoyed this episode. If you did, I hope that you'll like, comment, and or subscribe. I always massively appreciate that, you know. Maybe share the video around. That is the truest MVP play. We also got a bunch of links in the description, plugs and playlists and podcasts if you're looking for a different flavor from the channel. We got my social medias as well, Twitter, Discord, Facebook. Come on through, say hello. I would appreciate it. And of course, we've got my Patreon and my gorgeous, wonderful, beautiful, generous patrons. I'd like to thank them as I do every video, so thank you very much. Robert Waits, Baron Von Waggy Pants, Jarhead Jerry, Oorah, River Jerry, Captain Clown Jerry, Hong Kong, Aaron W, Twisted Child, Cinema Susie, For Auld Lang Syne. Welcome to the fold. It's almost New Year's, a couple months. Fire Drake, Giggle Jerry, Hee Hee, Latin, Levison loves Jerry, so does ReddX, Mr. Anime Manga Fan, Rogue, Silent Revolver, Sergeant Jelly Donut, Magdalene Marshall Thornrose, Becca, Cherish Kitsune, Little Lone Wolf, Vanilla Mel, Satori, Althea Blue, Anunnaki, Asia Persuasion Jerry, yeah, Assassin Pug Jerry, Bang Bang, Grizzly, Bailey Joy, Bearded Jerry, watch out for that guy. Bitch Scrabbling, Blade the Hero, Blameless Fish, Blip Bloop Jerry, Camille Sarah, Commander J Tank, Delta Rune Jerry, Dennis Dayton, Dinosaur Nightlight, Disposable Waifu, Aaron Lennox, Frozen Over Studios. Hey, that's a new one as well. She makes some pretty good stuff. I'm gonna buy a cup from her once my wife can decide on a design. Gypsy, Hadrian BR, Heathcliff, Itchy Nuts, just scratch him. A pimp named J. Crisp. Yes, you gotta say the whole thing. J.M. Coon. Jerry with an I. That is a different Jerry. And the OG Jerry. Jerry! Jerry Blacktail. We got Jerry T. Harapist. So many Jerrys. John Hero. Jolly Black Jerry. Oh. Simbufa. Because if you're boofing, it's free. Jury. Tell it to the jury. Crowhey, Lady Jerry Nix, Miss Monday, Lord Lionel, Jackass Rule, Melgar the Destroyer, Mint Jerry Chip, the freshest of the Jerrys. Mirthful Baker, my boy Nat One Nick, Natari, never mind Tom don't have no pocky, so demoted under private Mr. Jerry. Oh, he's back? This is some betrayal. You can't swap armies like that. Nightmare Jerry, oh no! Origami Jerry, gotta fold them all. Panda Prince Jerry, hey, new to the Discord, love seeing you today. Welcome to it. Phantom of the Pines, Jerrykins and Jerry Beth, TSM Kirby. Sarita, the Lolita. I've also talked to her in the Discord. Welcome, welcome. Serrated Ash, Staples, Stephanie Goodner, Synaptic Boomstick, Brilliant Tamago, Tapioca Boogaloo, Tato Ferret, Teddy the Police, 10-Ton Monster, the guy with the marble. I think his name's Jerry. The One True Fusky, Treeberg, Wilmags, yet another different Jerry. Kira M, you're a wizard, Jerry. Kitzikin, Redwin, Goose Says Honk, Naga Viper, Saints Blessing, John Endorse, a normal Jerry. The Irish Jerrys can have my beer, but not my whiskey. Hunter of Jerrys, Devourer of all things tasty, it is Tom. Admiral A Tank, Amara, Atomic Jerryzilla, Breaker of the Tom Army. Yes, Redemption. AZ, Banished Knight, Barbushka's Irradiated Jam, Cake Jerry, the original different Jerry, California Jerry Girl, Yum, Canadian Lynx, hey, Carrot Jerry, it's good for your eye. I can't breathe. Oh, that got me so good. Fuck. Yeah, it is. Chia, CD. CD's nuts. No. Edit that out. But don't actually edit it out. Chris Meska, Cinnamon Buddy Dog, Tigerian Princess Furry Worry, Ooh Jerry, Crip Titties, Cuban Jerry, Defon Jerry, Ever Changing Jerry Apocalypse, Ghost of Alpha, HMT Mayor, Hydra Jerry, Irish Jerry, Jerry from State Farm. Welcome, my friend. Jerry Beard Adventures, Cheeto Dust Crusaders. It's so out of control. I'm like, today's gonna be the day I get through Patreon and don't fucking lose my shit. Today's not that day. Fan favorite, Jerry Aldo Rivera. Jerry Bean, Yum! Jerry Roxas, yay! JRPG, a Jerry role-playing game by Bloody Butterfly Gaming. King Tom, smasher of Jerryzillas. Good God, how could this happen? KJW, Kajal, Crafty Kitty Cat, Life of a Guardian, Little Land Woods, Maybe Next Time, Midnight Sun, Milk-Fed Gimp, Miss Duchess, Not Invisible Angel, I see you. One Leg Jerry. Origami Cam, Princess Rosalie Jerry, Ghosty, Ryga, Raptor Art, she's my Jerry Pie. It's getting so musical too. God damn, I love it. Solorian King, Snarry, that's Snom Jerry, Spoonie the Rogue, Steampunk Ellie, the Necro Jerry Con. The original Jerry is not the original Jerry. The most different Jerry, who might be the most different Jerry. To Infinite Jerry and beyond. Promise, swearsies, it's just a fact and it's totally science. Go ahead and look it up. And by it, I mean, another ReddX video. That'd be pretty cool. And I would like to thank my $1 patrons as well. God damn, you guys killing it. Both with the names, with the pledges, with the channel in general, but especially the Discord. It's a really nice way to end the video, just having me crack up at all the names and the changes, and it really tickles me pink. I do hope some more people will consider supporting on the Patreon, but if you can't do it right now, don't sweat it too hard, friends. I just appreciate you coming on through, hanging out with me, and I hope that you'll come on back and hang out with me again tomorrow. In order to do so, you'll need to keep yourself safe out there, wash your hands, but also take some time out and do something that you personally enjoy today. Maybe like, I don't know, watching another ReddX video? That'd be cool. Always remember, friends, that you are loved, you are worthy, and you definitely deserve it. I shall see you in the next one, and until then, friends, bye-bye.